That was the worst NBA All-Star weekend in NBA history. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Raptors NBA podcast. We are your hosts, Alex Jobin and Andy Redding. We are coming off an absolutely horrendous NBA All-Star weekend. You heard me at the top. I think it was the worst NBA All-Star weekend of all time. Mediocre Rising Stars game. In my opinion, that was the best part of it. Really, really mediocre Saturday night. You know what? I'll say it was the worst Saturday night in NBA history.
Ooh.
Worst NBA dunk contest in NBA history. Worst NBA dunk contest participant in NBA history in Jaylen Brown. Not saying that he's a bad dunker, which I'll get into later. And just a horrendous NBA All-Star game on Sunday. Myself and Andy were at Real Sports watching last night. We left at half. Ended up finishing watching it at home. Andy, what are your takeaways?
Yeah, we had enough. It takes a lot to get people to leave an all-inclusive party with free drinks and free food, but there's no energy in there. Nobody was actually watching the game. It was the most boring thing. Nothing on the line. Yeah, it sucked. I don't know. I don't think anyone's saying it was good. We've reached a point where the players don't care about anything, and then fans aren't going to care either. It sucks.
Sucks. Like Andy said, we're at Real Sports.
Stinks.
It seemed like a good environment. They could have done a better job with seating, but whatever. It was only for season ticket holders. So they ran an NBA All-Star event, and there was almost no seating. So that was one negative that Andy was a little bit disheveled about initially. But I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It seemed like people were just like not interested in it whatsoever because it was so boring. It was so boring. Final score was 211 186. So the East won 211 186. Like, you're talking about a blowout with 211 points. Damian Lillard, he was the All-Star MVP. And man, what I found super interesting is that Cat dropped 50. Cat dropped 50 and didn't get the MVP award. Shea
Nobody
dropped
cares.
31, and then Damian Lillard ended up getting 30. What do you have? 39 for the MVP award. But like, nobody cares about the All-Star game. The All-Star game sucks. Which leads me to a question for you.
What's the
What
question?
do you think are some actionable items that the NBA can do to make the All-Star game better?
You have to make the players care
Yeah.
in this format. Could we go back? So could we do it like the NHL and have money on the line? Every winning player gets $1 million or $10 million or something. Would that
Is
help?
that the NHL format?
$1 million is each player wins. Uh, you could have the winner of the dunk contest make 5 or 10 mil. Like, they make a lot of money off this event, and that would help bring out players. That's a
Yeah.
nice chunk of change. Other than that, I don't know. They've tried drafting players. I prefer the target score. I think that's more fun. A few years ago, it was fun when there was like a game winner. I don't know. What do you have a solution?
So I think that there should be some, like you said, should be some sort of benefit to winning the All-Star game, whether it's like getting home court advantage or, like, getting home court advantage wouldn't make that much sense, but it would just for one game. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that would be a solution, but something along those lines. Like, if the East beats the West in the All-Star game, then um I don't even
They
know. Like, you
they used
can't
to do that
you
in
but
baseball.
I know, but that would be so difficult to implement in the finals. You know what I mean? Have the All-Star game affect the finals, because that's really the only time when
That's what
the
they did in
East is
baseball,
playing the West. Yeah, I don't
but
know.
they scrapped it because they didn't like it too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Next thing, big shout out to Scottie Barnes for making the All-Star team. Scottie had 16 in yesterday's game. He wasn't really playing or trying in
Ah,
the Saturday night competition, I'm
oh,
saying.
sorry.
Sorry. But in the game on Sunday, I love the fact that he dropped 16 points. He had 17 minutes of playing time. So
I
shout out
think
to Scottie Barnes for making the All-Star team.
I think Scotty was the only one playing defense. I think he had the most rebounds of anyone in the game. He was going hard. He was he was his first time there. He's trying to make an impact. Yeah, I like it. He took it semi seriously, but I don't know. I don't care.
Scottie
A lot of
Barnes,
the
8 boards, tied with Jaylen Brown for most rebounds. No, Karl Anthony Towns had 8 rebounds as well. Anthony Davis had 8 rebounds as well.
A lot of 8.
So there you go. 4 guys tied for highest rebounds in that game.
Always
It
remember when Scottie Barnes tied for the most rebounds in the All-Star game. Always remember it.
might be the worst stat I've ever heard. Okay, so I want to go through the competitions one by one. And honestly, I was showering this morning and I was thinking about our podcast. And I was
Okay.
thinking, like, what stood out in my mind without doing any research whatsoever? And there were 2 things that stood out from the entire All-Star weekend. The first thing was the Rising Stars game where Montreal native Benedict Mathurin ended up getting into it with Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting because it seemed like it actually got kind of serious in the moment.
There's some real juice there. It was
Some
nice.
real juice, some real juice. So that was, I think, the most exciting part in terms of from a competition standpoint. And I did like the fact that 4 people were tied at 26 in the 3-point contest. So I liked those 2 things. The dunk contest was horrendous. You had a guy once again win the dunk contest who's not even in the NBA.
It's embarrassing.
Shout out to Mac McClung. Amazing dunks. I think he definitely should have won. But first of all, sorry, let me reel myself in. What did you think about the Rising Stars competition and the whole Benedict winning MVP?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the same thing every year. It's hard to care about the Rising Stars contest. It's hard to care about anything other than Saturday night, which I kind of care about sometimes. But I don't know. The Rising Stars is the same every year. No one. We went to it in Toronto. It was kind of fun, but I didn't. I think I looked up the rosters recently. I didn't remember that we saw like Jokic play in the Rising Stars game. They all kind of blend together every year.
So the only memorable moment I remember, like I honestly think about from the Rising Stars games, was when Kyrie Irving dropped Brandon Jennings on the wing. I don't know if you remember that, but it was going viral. It's still like I still see it on my feeds from for once in a while because that was the most memorable moment in like 10 years of All-Star history, which is kind of upsetting. But I just like the fact that they got into it. It got a little competitive, and good Canadian boy won the MVP. So happy for that.
What an honor! Another all-time legacy-making thing. MVP of the Rising Skills. Whew.
Legacy.
Who
Next
cares?
Saturday night, the skills competition, whatever. Scottie Barnes was just playing around, which was kind of funny, but like he could have put a little more effort into it. That's one
Yeah.
thing because he was a meme all over TikTok, all over Instagram, all over YouTube because he like lost the ball. He did that backwards half court shot that went nowhere, went to like the 3rd row. Like same thing, could have been a little bit better on that end, but whatever.
Also,
Um,
nobody cares about that contest. There's only 2 contests people get invested in.
yeah. So the 3-point contest, Dame comes out, wins it again. I don't know. Was that exciting for you? Was anything exciting? I don't even know if anything was exciting.
Hmm. The seem to try harder in the 3-point contest, so that is exciting. That's the only time that like stars are invested all weekend. Guys want to win that. It's kind of cool to win. Uh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I liked it. You
So
didn't
you
like the
liked it.
3-point.
Okay. So Dame goes back to back. I don't think there's ever been a three-peat of a 3-point contest winner. So there you go. Now, what did you actually wait? I have one trivia question for you. Who was the last person? I don't know if you saw this, but who was the
Jason
last person? Boom, you got it. Can you say that again?
Jason Capano, last person to go
Jason,
back to back.
Jason Capono. What did you think about Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu going head to head?
It was a cute story.
Why are you so worried to talk about this? I don't understand. You're like so worried to talk about this.
I think we sensationalize things in society. I think there's a lot of people that were like, "This is the best thing for women's basketball. This is the best thing for basketball." Yeah, I thought it was a good moment. I don't think it was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It was cute. It was
So Kenny the
nice.
Jet Smith was getting some flack online because he was like, she should be probably either shooting with a men's ball from the men's 3-point line to make it an actual competition, or or shooting from like the women's line with a women's ball, which like he got a lot of shit online for. But like I don't know, I tend to kind of agree. Like because this is the NBA dunk competition or the NBA 3-point competition, it's like it's NBA rules. It's an NBA weekend. Like I don't know if you wanted to cross promote the league, I guess it makes sense. And I think that's obviously what they were trying to do, is like cross promote the leagues. But in terms of what he was saying, I don't think he should have caught as much shit as he did, because honestly, like I'm sure she could shoot with a regular ball. Like I'm sure she could. Tough, but she did end up with 26 from the NBA three-point line, which
Yeah.
is a couple feet behind the WNBA three-point line. So, anyways, whatever. I thought it was kind of a cool contest to cross promote the leagues. That's the only thing I thought that was cool about it. But if they wanted to make it like actually competitive, it should be the exact same rules. Whether that's like Steph shooting with a women's ball, WNBA ball, step in, or her getting an NBA ball and shooting from the three-point line. I don't know.
I guess the point of the contest, you're right. It was not for who's going to win. It was to promote the leagues. That's all it was. It was kind of marketing. It was getting Sabrina Ionescu's face out there and making people at home know who she is who don't watch the WNBA. And it worked, I think.
I think it did as well. It was so funny because every player that got interviewed about it was like, "Who do you think's gonna win this contest?" And everyone's like,
The greatest shooter of
I
all
like
time.
her, but it's gonna be Steph." Like, yeah, he's the greatest shooter of all time. Like, we need to stop it with this. Just going back, NBA three-point shooting. You're right. Nobody cares about it as much. There are a couple of names on here that are so random and out of nowhere that like I appreciate, but there are a bunch of people who are like no longer in the league. Like, so Dame won it back-to-back years. Karl
Mhm.
Anthony Towns, only center to win it. Steph Curry 2021. Buddy Hield in 2020.
Nice.
Joe Harris in 2019.
Strong.
Eric Gordon. Sorry, I missed one. Devin Booker 2018. Completely forgot about that.
Eric Gordon won? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Eric Gordon.
That's right.
Klay Thompson 2016. Uh, Steph Curry again 2015. Marco Bellinelli 2014.
Wow.
Kyrie Irving won it in 2013, which was surprising to me.
That's fun.
Kevin Love won at one time as well, but he was technically considered a power forward, I guess. So Cat can't. I don't know if Cat can say he's the only big man to ever win it. Paul
Mhm.
Pierce, yeah, Jason Capono, 2007, 2008. Shout out to Jason Capono from the Toronto Raptors in 2007, 2008 for winning the NBA three-point contest. All right, do you have anything else to add to that?
About the 3-point contest specifically?
Yes,
No, no.
you're
That's
done
enough.
with it. You're
Done
done
with
with
the
it. You hate
contest.
it.
You want to talk more dunk contest? What do you want to talk about?
Yes, I want to talk
Okay.
about the dunk contest. Wearing the sweater, and it's like making me sweat. Plus, I'm sweating because of how angry I am about how horrendous this dunk contest one was this year. It was the worst dunk contest in NBA history. Jaylen Brown doing these random dunks where he's not even like he was trying to do like the eye cover up dunk, D
Mhm.
Brown's dunk, didn't even do it. Jumped over a guy who was sitting on a chair who was like 5'2". Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Obi Toppin's brother, Jacob Toppin, I think he should have made it over Jaylen Brown into it, like into the finals at least. But we're not even talking about the fact that Mac McClung isn't even in the NBA. It doesn't make sense,
That grinds you.
everybody. It literally doesn't make sense for somebody who's not playing on an NBA roster to be in the NBA dunk contest. Where is this going? You know, I it might have been the worst dunk contest in NBA history. Again, I'm just gonna keep saying it. I was just like shocked and appalled.
Okay, I have a question for you about dunking in general. The art of dunking. As someone who's dunked before, when was the last time you dunked?
2019.
It's been that long? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. That's depressing. Well,
I know.
I've never
No,
dunked.
it really is depressing. I'm going to dunk it by the end of this summer.
I like it.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, the art of dunking. Have we reached the limit of humankind? Have we seen every dunk possible? Is this just something that you can't expand and get better at?
We talked about this yesterday. I think in terms of the types of dunks, we probably have reached the limit. There's not much more you can do. But having said that, I was just watching these college dunk contests. I got into another wormhole of
Hmm.
college and high school dunk contests, and they were like literally 10 times better than the NBA dunk contest. So many different things. Like, I just don't understand. I'm not even saying Jaylen Brown's a bad dunker. I'm not saying that. It's just like do a 360 windmill. Do it through legs. Like do something that's a little bit different. It's been done, but the stuff that was happening this weekend was horrible. There are a bunch of dunks that these college kids did in this video that I was like, that have never been done in the NBA, you know?
Hmm.
So I'm sure there's some stuff they can do to make it a little bit better, but it was the worst. Like, I honestly couldn't believe how bad it was. Mac McClung had some of the best dunks, though, right? We
Yeah.
haven't
Oh,
seen we haven't seen a couple of those dunks.
no, he was fun. That G Leaguer was really fun. He was great. Did,
So, sorry, go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna go through the list of slam dunk winners, and there's a few that we have no idea if they're in the league or not anymore. You know,
Like who?
like okay, so Mac
Ben
won it two.
did
Mac won it
McLemore
two.
win it once?
Sorry,
Did Ben McLemore win it once? Is
Ben McLemore.
that his name? What's his name? Who's the McLemore guy?
Is it Ben McLemore?
You know who I'm talking about? The
Yeah,
guy in
yeah,
the
I know what you're talking about. I don't think so. No.
yeah, that was his name. He was definitely in it once. I don't even remember who won it like 10 years ago. They all blend together.
Okay, so Mac won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. The fact that he's literally not even in the NBA. Again, we don't have to keep saying that. Obi Toppin won it in 2022. Anthony Simons in 2021. That guy's got some bunnies.
Yeah,
Derrick
he's
Jones Jr. 2020. Then 2019. Are you looking at the list?
no.
Okay, 2019. Hamidou Diallo. Would you have guessed that?
I forgot that one.
Hamidou Diallo in 2019. Horrible. Donovan Mitchell won it in 2018. That must have been a bad dunk contest.
Yep.
2017, I have another name to throw out at you. Glenn Robinson III.
Oh. Probably not in the league.
Who's Glenn Robinson III? Like, respect to the guy, of course. Like, he literally won the dunk contest. Dude, let's see where he is right now. Glenn Robinson III, Philadelphia 76ers. Da, 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 da. So right now he's on the
G League.
Wisconsin Herd.
G League.
G League. Yeah, there you go. Zach LaVine won it. So the last dunk contests that mattered were in 2015 and 2016.
Yeah.
When Zach LaVine beat Aaron Gordon both times, which I think Aaron Gordon should have won one of those times, in my
Definitely.
opinion.
You're right.
But that was an incredible dunk contest. I might have to like go and watch that dunk contest again after we shoot this podcast because of how bad this weekend was.
It's much
But
better. I watched all the dunks from that this morning. They are very nice. They are way
really
better.
from
Yeah,
from 2015.
yeah, they've been making their ways on Twitter recently.
John Wall won it in 2014.
I don't remember that at
Me
all.
neither. Terrence Ross won it in Houston. Shout out to Terrence Ross, the first Raptor to do that since Vince Carter. Jeremy Evans, 2012. I don't know what he could have done there. Blake Griffin when he jumped over a car in 2011. That was fun. Nate Robinson, I got a bone to pick with you.
What is your bone to pick with
This was a back-to-back slam dunk champion at 5'9". He won it in 2010 and 2009. And you're hating on the guy. You said yesterday that he was the worst dunk contest
Why don't you ask me right now?
participant in
I'll repeat
history.
it on air. I'll repeat it on air. Why don't you ask me?
Okay, who do you think is the worst dunk contest participant of all time?
That's not what I said. The most
Yeah.
overrated.
The most overrated dunk contest winner of all time? When you just saw my list?
Yeah.
You're
The
still gonna say
the other guys are not overrated. No one talks about Glenn Robinson the third and is like, oh, he was the best. That was so much fun. Nate Robinson took 10 minutes to do each dunk. He missed 30
That's
times.
not true. Like, you're just saying
Yes.
that. That's not
No,
even
he
true.
did. Go watch the full thing. It was awful TV.
No.
He should not have won those. They did not. That's why there's a time limit now because of him. Don't rewrite history here. You just look at the
This
highlights.
is blasphemous. The guy is 5'9".
Yeah, but he was like 1 for 30 on dunks.
No, he was not 1 for 30. Listen, that's how the dunk contest was for like 10 years.
Yeah,
And it's not because of him that they rewrote it. It's because
Yes,
of Birdman. It was because of Birdman.
No, it's because of him.
No, it was because of Birdman.
It's because of him.
I will not let you talk about a 5'9" guy who won the dunk contest twice like this. This is blasphemous.
He took the air out of the building each time.
Yeah, because of how amazing his dunks were.
Because he kept missing and missing and missing and missing.
Anyways, whatever. Dwight Howard won in 2008. Gerald Green won in 2007 when he blew out the candle. You remember that?
Of course, the cupcake.
That was good. Who else? Jason Richardson won it in 2002 and 2003. That was amazing. That was like the reverse through the leg. That was fun. Fred Jones won it. Josh Smith won it. And then I wanted to honestly, like, I love going through these lists because it reminds me of, I don't know, these amazing times. Kobe won it in 2000, or sorry, in 1997. I believe he was a rookie. Brent Barry won it the year before that. And then there's a bunch of guys who I've never heard of. Harold Miner, Isaiah Ryder, Harold Miner again,
Harold.
Cedric Sabalos. I don't know. Michael Jordan won in 87 and 88. Okay. How can the NBA make their dunk contest better?
I don't know if they can. Could they bring in guys from college and just have it just
But
call it
that's
a
not an NBA dunk contest then.
call it a world dunk contest? Bring in a guy from European League. Bring in a G League guy.
You might be onto something there.
Could
A
be.
world dunk contest?
Yeah.
An NBA world dunk contest.
Have like one guy from the NBA, one guy from wherever.
I honestly think that's a really good idea. But my thing was like incentivize stars to come and do the dunk contest. I don't know how you would do that, but maybe you're right. Like maybe it has to be instead of 1 million, maybe it has to be 5 or 10 million. Like I'm sure they can get away with it. Like that's an extreme amount of money, but like
Why are stars going to want to do it then when the next day after the contest, guys on podcasts like you are ripping them? Or Jaylen Brown, he'll never do it again.
good. I hope he never does it again. Or like he needs to have somebody that just shows him a few new dunks to do. Like, I don't know. I think Jaylen Brown was one of the worst like stars to ever do the dunk contest. But I just
That's
don't. He's not even a bad dunker. I just think he like. I don't know why he would pick the dunks that he picked. I think they were just horrible,
you have
horrible
an
decisions.
irrational you have an irrational hate for Jaylen Brown. We know
I
this.
don't have an irrational hate for Jaylen. I just don't understand why he put on that glove onto his left hand to dunk the ball to prove that he has a left hand. Like, obviously he's an NBA All-Star. He has a left hand. I don't know. I think that the dunks that he picked to do just weren't good. I think he's a way better dunker than what he showed. I guess that's my point. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he just didn't plan it out enough or something. I don't know.
You are a Jaylen Brown hater, even when you watch him play regular games.
Why don't we have
You
young
nitpick
stars?
him.
Why don't we have young stars? So like apparently Zion was supposed to be in this dunk contest. Is that what I
Well,
heard?
I don't know.
So like why can't they bring out some young all-stars to do the dunk contest? I don't understand why they don't want to do it. Imagine being a good dunker and being like, no, I don't want to do the contest. Like imagine if it was like Zion Williamson, John Morant, um, who else? Who's like a high flyer? Shaden Sharp.
That'd be nice.
Um,
That'd be nice.
who else? Like who's like a high fly? I don't know. I can't think of anybody. I feel like we need a big man in there. Cat had a dunk last night that was better than most dunk contest dunks.
He's not going to go in. He will never go in a dunk contest.
What about like Wemby? Like bring Wemby in there, you know? Even Paulo would have been better. I don't know. Anyways, they need some young stars and some talent in the dunk contest. Do you have anything else to say
On the dunk contests,
on anything?
I do have one general statement.
Go ahead.
All the talk today. How do we fix the All-Star game? What's wrong? How can we make it better? I don't think that's the question. I think the question is, why do we still have the All-Star game? What is the point of the All-Star game? In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, it made sense. There's no cable TV. You couldn't see Bill Russell play. You couldn't see guys that weren't in your area play. You would never see these guys play. Every night we can turn on TV and watch every star in the league play, whoever we want. There's no point of having All-Star games anymore. Players don't care. There's no pride in it. It makes
So wait,
them
are you saying not to do the All-Star game or not to do the All-Star weekend completely?
maybe to have just the Saturday night events. But like, and this is across every sport. Like every All-Star game sucks. Baseball, hockey, football. They cancel it. It's a thing of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It doesn't make sense anymore.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but would players still be considered all-stars? Like would they would make the all-star team, but they just wouldn't be an all-star game? Because then you're like ruining history. You know what I'm saying?
Who cares? Who cares about? There's still
Everybody cares. Basketball
football.
historians care. Of course, people care. People care who was an X amount time all-star. Like, I care that LeBron is a 20-time NBA All
But
Star. Will that ever be beaten? Do you know what I mean?
they have more important things like first team all NBA. That's more important.
Sure, that's fine. But I'm saying like you can't just get rid of a stat like that because, again, historically that wouldn't make sense. Like,
You could.
will LeBron's record of 20 NBA All Star games ever be touched? Like, probably not.
Things change. There's no 3-point contest in basketball in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Things change. You adapt.
Okay, but I'm confused. So you're saying get rid of the entire thing?
Get rid of the game.
Okay, but those players are still considered All Stars.
I don't care. No.
Okay, well, I don't know. I like the whole festive atmosphere of it, so I'm completely against that point.
You
I
like the
think that's
festive atmosphere in Indianapolis this weekend?
I still like the hype. Like there is still some hype around it. People are excited about it. A lot of times when you think you're gonna go on a trip, you're more excited than when you're on the actual trip. Like your actual excitement levels are higher before you're on the trip. Do you know what I mean?
That's how I am when I go on trips with you.
Yeah, you're more excited for it, and then when you're on it, you're like, oh my God, not this
God,
again.
it's so annoying. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Um, no, but I don't know. I still like the hype around the All-Star game, and I do like some perform. Like I still liked seeing some of the highlights. Basically, I don't know, but yeah, the All-Star game was an absolute bore to watch. Me and you barely watched it. The one highlight of the All-Star game was Draymond Green talking shit about everybody.
Yeah.
Like he was so funny. He probably had like 6 or 7 takes where it made me laugh. And again, they were on highlights. He was like, when Cat had 40, he's like, oh, there you go. Cat has 40. But it's like when Cat used to have 40 of the Timberwolves and they were down 20. Oh, Cat has 40. The Timberwolves are down 20. So I don't know. Draymond was good.
Here's a hot take.
Yeah.
Just cooked it up right now. When Draymond retires, TNT should fire Shaq and hire Draymond.
Tough.
I think I don't think Shaq brings it that much to the table on TNT.
I think his personality does. So I disagree with you. But you're right. Like there needs to be another seat there because Chuck is still hilarious.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Did you see that clip where Draymond's like, hey Chuck, man, how much did your suit cost?" And Chuck's like, "I don't know, about 1,000." And then Draymond's like, "You could tell." And then he's like, "You could tell," and everyone starts laughing. And then Chuck is like, "Oh, yeah, actually, that reminds me, um, Draymond, you know who was asking you about you the other day?" And he's like, "Who?" He's like, "Nobody." I don't know. So the banter is good there. I really do like the banter. But okay. Do we have anything else?
That's it. That's all.
All right.
All-Star All-Star weekend is over. But we will always be your All-Stars at Raptors NBA podcast. Keep listening. Subscribe. Tell your friends, your family. It's Family Day weekend. Tell your family about us. Tell them to subscribe. Be safe out there. Goodbye.
Goodbye.